And we're live. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Eurovoxx here. And my name is Dominic, and I'm joined by Harry from the United Kingdom and Dylan from France. How are you?
Well, doing great, and you guys?
Trying our best.
Great, Dylan. Don't worry, I'm doing great.
It's a surprising
Yeah.
evening, let's be honest. Yes.
Good for you. So, sorry for the delay, but we wanted to wait until the results were out, so it's not our fault, guys. Hey, so hello, first of all. We made it. Nice to see you. Yeah, so we're talking about the second heat. Three more finalists for MGP in 2 weeks. And there were 6 competing acts, and 3 of them got through. I think it's 100% televote, if I'm correct.
At this
Yeah.
stage, yes.
It is, right? And yeah, let's do it like that. I'm saying one of them, and then you are also naming one of them. Okay. So the first qualifier was My AI from Superpop and Erika Norwich. She was one of the favorites, not to win just heat, but overall winning this whole competition. So, what's your first reaction to that?
Well, Harry, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Well, it depends actually. Do we want to start on a positive or a negative? How do we feel here? Look. Okay. Well, it was expected. It was expected. It was always going to go through. It's one of the favourites to win the whole contest. I am not the massive fan of this. I don't get it. I think it's very gimmicky and cliche. And if you put these lyrics in a kid's theme song, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. Look, it was always going to go through. It's fun. It's fun. But I think the problem with Super Rob, because it was always going to go through, we needed to evaluate this from the perspective of, okay, could this win? Because we all know it was going to go through. Let's assess if it was a favorite. If they send that in the final, I doubt their chances, because I think it lacked energy. I think the vocal quality wasn't as good as it could be. Maybe Erika Norwich was nervous, or she just doesn't suit that style of dance beat. I don't know. It didn't work for me. Like Subwoofer, it didn't have that effect on me. For example, where that felt like a thought out, clean performance. This had a robot on stage, and that was the entire premise of the performance. Oh, that, and it had 2 people that looked like. Have either of you seen the show Lazy Town? You know, the pink hair.
Yeah.
It had
Good
that.
reference. Yeah.
They're gimmicks. But yeah, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this with Norwegian juries when they are actually taking part in the final. We will see. But as a finalist, as a qualifier, it was expected.
Okay, Dylan, what do you think? I think you
Yeah.
agree on a few things, right?
I agree on a few things. I think the vocal quality wasn't up to tonight's contest, to be honest. There might be several reasons. Maybe she was nervous. Maybe she just doesn't know how to sing. Who knows? But when it
Maybe
comes-
both.
I just want to. She does know how to sing. She has some good live performances.
Yes, she does. No, but joke apart, I disagree with Harry when he says that the performance on stage wasn't great. I think it was one of the best performances we had tonight. It was original. It was something that would get you into the song and into a dancing mood. It's something that I could see doing very well with the public, to be really honest, even in the Eurovision, in the contest. I agree with the jury, it might be different. So we'll see. But I agree also on the part where you say it's a bit gimmick. It might be some sort of like a cliche song, what the people who never watch the Eurovision might expect to see at the Eurovision, you know? If you ask them to describe what would be the Eurovision Song Contest, then they would probably come up with something like that. Yeah.
I see. So before I tell you my opinion, wins in the second draft.
Can we
Hashtag
just bookmark this comment here? I think it's keep this for entirety and for other
Wait,
people.
you can put a star on it. Okay, I just did. Here you go.
Of course.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm just discovering all the options here. Ooh, okay. So I must say, not a fan. I really don't like this. It's very cheap. It's just having this, oh, there's a robot, and I'm like super, super too active and too over the top. and two also like replaceable, I would say, because it sounds like any K-pop song. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's for me, it's really not for me. And her voice kind of reminds me of Barbie girl singer, like from Aqua. She
Yeah,
kind of had
sure.
this vibe, but Barbie girl was a good song. So
That's
yeah,
debatable.
that's no, it's not. So yeah, I think I can really see this winning the televote, but I can also see it flopping in the jury. And I don't think the televote will be enough, especially in the voting system of MGP. I think it's not really possible.
Can I ask you guys a question just on
Please.
this, because it's one that's, because obviously it's an odds-on favourite. Would you both consider MGP one of the overall, not necessarily this year, but overall in the grand scheme of national finals, one of the stronger national finals of like the last
Definitely.
5 years?
Yeah.
Then when I tell okay, but then when I tell you 3 of the last 4 years they have sent an angel, 2 wolves, and potentially a robot, does that reflect maybe your opinions on MGP? Because I think
Well, I never said they picked the right winner.
that's my point. I think MGP has usually quality songs, and spoiler for my opinions, we'll get to one of those I think this evening. But they always pick one that will cause the head of delegation to complain about juries. You know, it's like you can't. You know, it's one of those frustrating national finals, I think, for Eurovision fans, and it will be if this goes on to win, I think.
Yes, which is interesting coming from Norway because I think they are the ones wanting who want to remove the juries in
Yeah,
the Eurovision.
Yeah, of course.
So
obviously,
I
because
think
it benefits them massively.
you need
Yeah,
them
yeah.
for your own show. So calm down, Norway. Okay, before we move on, thanks for the clarification. Lena is from Norway. I didn't know that. Cool. I wait. I thought they're Danish, but maybe it's I don't know.
Bad these days, but maybe, you know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Hi, good evening. Hey, there's someone from Norway. So cool. Nice to see you. So, Dylan, why don't you kick off with the second
Oh,
finalist?
the second finalist will be, and I'm sorry for the pronunciation if it's not right here, Robin. It's, I think, Got, and the song is Ulvehan. So they were, I think, in my opinion, they were part of the favorites also to qualify in tonight's heat. They delivered a very strong performance on stage. They remind me a bit of last week Goth Minister also, and I have a feeling that these kind of songs are quite popular in Norway. It seems so because there is very often a representative of this very specific Norwegian category in every MGP. And I would actually be very happy to see them qualifying for the Eurovision. That being said, they do know how to sing, they do know how to perform, but I'm not sure how well they would do in a semi-final in the Eurovision, because it might be a bit over the top for many people. So I don't know. That was
Yeah. So, before Harry praises the song, because I'm pretty sure that's the one.
Go on, go on.
Yeah. So again, not for me. I'm not really pleased about the results tonight. Sorry. So it kind of reminds me of the Norwegian Go A, and Go A is not for me. So maybe that's why her voice kind of reminded me of that. However, there are positive things. So it was the only Norwegian song. So always rooting for that. First of all, then they had great staging. I loved the lightning. I loved this effect they had when they showed the nature, which had the same color as the stage. That was cool and interesting. The guitar guy was amazing. He did some moves, like he moved his guitar around like so quickly. That was cool. And her vocals were distinctive. Um, but overall, like rock is not it's not my genre, not at all. So I'm thinking I'm not the target group here, but Harry is probably the one, right?
Well, for my thoughts, and I'm going to apologize for people watching and for the camera in particular. It was incredible, absolutely brilliant. I loved it, absolutely fantastic. Trust me, one of the things that can really get to my heart in a performance is lighting and the effect it can have. That performance had one of the best lighting displays I have ever seen in a national final performance. It was ridiculously good. The light beaming down on the lead singer, then the chaotic lights for the chorus. I love the song in itself. I'm a rock fan, so I love this song as well. A side note for all rock fans, spoiler for the later video, I also cheered because this qualified the same time as Ollie did in Estonia. So I was very happy in that particular second. He did
Yay.
qualify. Yay.
Nice.
This isn't ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. This has to win MGP. I know my two favorites studio-wise are next week. If they do something spectacular, fair enough, they can win. But this is ridiculously good. It's going to be it's so unique. It'd be the first time Norway sent something in Norwegian in God knows how long, 18 years, I think. This is what Norway can send if they want to send something out there. This is out there but serious. Like this captures Norway, and this could do well with the jury and the televote. Two things I think also why this could win MGP is if you look at the other favourites. I think the two favourites at the moment in the odds were Kaino and Super Rob. Both of those have a question mark when it comes to televote. I think this could be a jury. Gert could be a jury favourite, I think, and then also on top of that do well enough in the televote where they end up at the top. And one thing I want to consider with actually going to Eurovision and why I really want to see this is this year in Malmö we've got a round stage. Well, it's square, but like the camera shots can be round. I think you can put this staging immediately onto that, and the camera angles work perfectly for that. The light shining down, all that stuff. It just fits. This is incredible. It's not even close. This is the best MGP staging we've had so far this year, possibly the best staging we've had of any national final so far this year. It's absolutely fantastic.
I must say, all the stagings were good. Stagings weren't the issue. I think they were all quite high.
I would disagree on a later one, but that's
yeah,
fair
that's fine.
enough.
But in terms of, it's not your style, but in general, it was high quality, I would say. And in theory, or more or less every performance could have been transferred to MALMÖ, I think. So if they would have had this performance, doesn't matter if you like the song or not, but I mean, just the overall package, I think it would be decent already without any changes, which is something we are used to for Norway and for Sweden usually, that they're already on par or like very high in terms of that. So loves you. And
I love the song. I love the song.
Ma is not on your side on this.
Who brought Ma here? Honestly,
she's cool. He's cool. I don't know. And Robin says that Norway is absolutely in love. And remember, because I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when Elsie Bay was competing against the Wolfers, and she didn't even make the top 2 because there was the other band. What was the name again?
Don't say that, Dom. That is, I've still not gotten over that.
I know it's.
I still haven't gotten over.
Face it. But then the band, I can't remember the name.
North
Kid. There you go. They were just because, or mainly because they were a big name and they were very popular. The song was a bit under the radar, but then they came into the top 2. Maybe that name or that branding can get them through the top 2 or the golden final.
I don't think it's. I think it's just normal this year. I don't think it's golden finals or top 2s anymore. It's just televote jury.
Okay, fair. I think that's it for now. So Harry, who was the third and last finalist?
Now you're gonna have to forgive me here because I've forgotten the name of the duo. It's
wait, I got
I
you.
know the title.
Jack Erik Oxfold and Arne Fagermo.
Yes, those two, and it's the song is called "Judge Me Tenderly," I believe. So with this one, I was in a chat with some friends of mine watching the national final, and when these were the final 3 announced, the final 3 was this duo, Farida and Milo. And I think all the people watching with me it's either Farida or Milo. And I jokingly said, "What if it's the duo?" And then the second I said that, it ended up being the duo. Look, I want to start with some positives here. There's nothing particularly wrong with this song. I don't think this is bad. It's a nice, pleasant song. Performed, I think, the way that if you'd have asked us to predict what the staging would be for this song, we would have probably got it fairly spot on. Yeah. No lights, just some lighting effects coming in. It's nice. I don't hate this. That being said, I do not think this was the third best, in the top 3 best songs of the evening or performance. Yeah, I feel like it lacks something. It lacks a bit of oomph, which I'm a bit surprised the Norwegian televote went for this. This doesn't seem like the kind of thing that they would go for, just based on previous. There's nothing wrong with it. More than happy to see them in the final. They seem like a lovely duo. What I will say, which might benefit them, is same thing with Gut. If there are a lot of these, televote favorites, but potentially jury question marks with like maybe Goth Minister, maybe with Super Rob, with maybe Kaino next week, then this song I think could be a sleeper for like a top 5 in the jury, a top 4. I don't think this would do well in the televote, but if we're giving every song that qualifies a fair chance of potentially winning, there's an argument there. I don't think it's the strongest, and I think it's probably the least likely to win out of the 6 songs we have so far. But not bad by any means. More than I don't hate this being in the final. Just really surprised.
Yeah, I think the running order had a big influence.
Well, this is actually the second week in a row where songs 4, 5, and 6 have qualified.
Exactly, just what I wanted to say. First,
sorry, Tom.
It's fine. And second, we had My AI, like, oh my god, I need my pills. Then this song, and then Gate, which was like oomph. And I think that was one of the reasons why this qualified, because it was so different. And just imagine like a ballad and then this song and then another ballad. I think the effect would be like 0. So they definitely benefited from that. Then I think vocally they were one of the best. I think the harmonies were great. And one of them, like one of the comments were already referring to it. I kind of had Common Linnet vibes, and they were great. So that's cool. But again, I fully back you up on this. I kind of forgot the song, and that's the problem. I just remember like they sounded good, but asked me like, tell me how the song goes. Sorry, no, I can't recall it, and that's not that best. Yeah, Dylan, what do you think?
Well, I have to say that I completely agree with you guys. For once, with Harry, for instance.
Enjoy the moment.
I'm not Swan, Dylan. I'm not Swan. My opinions are not that out there.
No, I was really surprised, almost shocked, because it was clearly under my radar. And this is the thing, as you said, vocally there is nothing wrong. The song is nice overall. It's not. There is absolutely nothing wrong. But it's because it's maybe too linear. It's almost boring to me. To me, again, sorry guys, but. To me, it was almost boring, and it's the kind of song that, after 1 or 2 listening, you just skip it and you move to the next one because it's nice in certain circumstances. That being said, the vocals were nice. The staging, I find it a bit boring because it's too predictable for this kind of song, but this is also very accurate with the song. And I think overall, this is maybe the reason why it stand out tonight, because it was really different from everything else. And so it helped to highlight the value of the song in the eyes of the audience, and that's probably one of the reasons why the song qualified. Now, I'm of course I'm surprised. I thought that MALMÖ or Farida would have had a shot at this also, but maybe also as you said, the running order was probably in their favor, because it allowed them to stand out from the previous performance. So altogether, congratulations to them, and they will have the chance to perform on February the 3rd, I think. Well, but I don't think they would qualify they would win the Melody Grand Prix.
Yeah,
but then I didn't thought they would qualify tonight, so you never know.
Yeah, we are obviously not the experts here. And so RJ says that AR is not her song, but the other 2 acts, including this one, is one of them. So good for you. So I think now it's time to say something about the ones who didn't qualify, and 2 of them are my favorites. I had 2 songs wanted to qualify, and 2 of them flopped. Yay, love it.
Yeah.
So maybe let's go to the 3rd one now, because that was the one when Norway was so cool and saying like, Ellie, you didn't go through, and then close up to the person like, oh shit, like this is so cool. I have no idea why Norway is doing this. Why? Honestly, can you tell me any reason? It's
So suspense, Dom. Suspense, I tell you.
no, it's just
The drama.
humiliation. I'm sorry. No, I don't like it.
I tell you what, though, it is something that Eurovision as a contest would never attempt to do. Never
they
even
were
consider
about to.
idea.
Wait. They
They'd
were
never
about
consider.
to.
I'm being very sarcastic here, Dom. They'd never consider that. They
Give
would
me one
never
more.
do
No,
anything
They
like
would not
this.
do something like that.
give me
Why would they?
one. Give me one more year, and they are about to do it, and I don't like it, and I don't want to get used to
I
it.
think it was a Lee Smithhurst UK idea, Dom. I don't think it was a Eurovision idea.
Yeah, the
It
thing is,
is a UK idea. Oh my god, great idea from the
the
British,
thing is,
as always. You know.
yeah.
we at least got rid of it, okay? We said no. We said no eventually.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the thing is, every time Sweden wins, there's always a big change, and I hope this is not one of them. So we
It
will
won't.
see.
I think we're fine.
Yeah. So anyway, "Touch of Venus" was the song, and I wrote down dramatic, opera, and then I wrote down bird sounds, which is something I wouldn't dare to think I would write down, but I did. I was wondering why I didn't get it. It was very confusing. I think again the staging and the usage of lights were good, but besides that, it was confusing and a bit like reminding me of these crazy entries of Eurovision in the 2000s, where you watched like a performance and then you were wondering what was that, and I kind of had this feeling. I'm not sure. I have to give her praise for her opera because, well, I can't do this. And that was impressive. But overall, the confusing part was the dominant one, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Dylan, what do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I completely share your opinion. I was confused from the beginning to the end of the song. The staging was confusing as well for me. And I wasn't surprised that she didn't qualify, though, to be honest. It was maybe the heat was maybe too strong for her, but I don't think she would have had a chance in any other heats. So, I mean, too bad for her. I feel sorry for her, but I feel good for the song we qualifying because I think they were better, to be honest.
Okay, Harry.
I feel like some of the noises she made I've heard at my local farm in the morning around 6 a.m. possibly. But that's look,
Very confusing
it's
again.
yeah,
Maybe it's her.
it's dramatic. This won't surprise you to know this is one of Twan's from Eurovox's favorites.
Mhm.
This is very much up his street.
Yeah.
It's almost like they had an opera song and then they thought we've got to we've got to spice it up a little bit to make it not too similar. The staging was nice enough, nice Bond vibes, good enough. I didn't think it was completely out of contention to qualify, but I did think it was highly unlikely, and I was correct. What's odd is there's so many things to talk about, but it also feels like there's not much to talk about, which is a weird position to be in with this song. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll just leave it there. It was something that happened. It had moments, but it was there.
Yeah, okay. I think that's enough then. So maybe go to Farida. So she was the first one performing. Her song was called Heartache, and I remember her from 2022, where she qualified actually for the final. Her song was Dangerous. It was a Bond-like ballad, and she was one of my favorites. I really enjoyed that. Now this one was very different. It wasn't a ballad, but it was pretty fast, high pace, and popish. And I was surprised that she didn't qualify because I really liked the song. I prefer Dangerous, not gonna lie, but this was also quite good. And I had the feeling that she was more comfortable because I remember that back then she was very nervous and had some problems with the high notes because she was so excited and stuff. Now she came across as very experienced or at least more stable. That was nice to see. And showing a different side is always something good because you don't want to be like being one type. Like, you know what I mean? That you only have one type of genre that she can showcase what she is capable of. That was nice. Yeah, anything else? I had the feeling that the autotune was very big thing there. So
Yeah.
remember in NRK there is the option of having autotune in it, and I had the feeling you were able to listen to that quite a lot. next to my AI, obviously. That was pretty much
Really? Did that one use
all
auto-tune?
auto-tune.
Did that one use auto-tune?
Who knows? The song
Yes,
was
those ones.
auto-tune. So I had the feeling that she was relying on them a bit. But yeah, overall, I would have qualified her. Harry, what do you think?
I hate to break it to you, John. The only reason the high notes sounded better was because of the auto tune. If you listen beneath that, the high notes you still couldn't really hit. They were quite weak. I don't mind this song. I think it's on par, maybe with Dangerous, with how I feel about it. Nothing in the staging works for me. I didn't like this staging at all for her. The song, while it's a dance song, is quite quirky. It's not Charleston-y, but I wouldn't say it's a modern like Ava Max Dua Lipa style song either. So the fact that she was going on stage with like these like bad boy dancers and trying to move with them,
Mhm.
it didn't work. That was not what the song was about. You needed the quirkiness, upbeat, fun, moving. And Farida, I think, struggled with this style performing it. She didn't struggle with it creating this, but you could tell the more grounded, less movement, Dangerous from 2022 suited her more, rather than this thing that she had to move around constantly. I don't think it suited her as a performer. So I had it borderline going in, and I still had it. I still thought it could qualify going into that final three, but I wasn't very confident because I didn't think this was performed well enough, and the elements were coming from like 4 different ideas which didn't work together.
Okay, Dylan.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Harry. I mean, to me, the song was one of my favorite tonight. After the performance, the live performance, because I wasn't a huge fan of the song on my Spotify, for instance. But what surprised me though was the discrepancies between the staging and the song. I thought she could have gone for something, as Harry said, a bit more daring, a bit more up tempo to match better with the song. That being said, I honestly thought she was a safe qualifier tonight because the song was honestly well executed, and she, even though the performance, the staging, as again, was a bit not wasn't aligned with the song. I think she did a good performance overall. So it's clearly about choices, and I think maybe she and her team they made like not the best choice. But anyway, I was surprised, and I was a bit disappointed because honestly, I think the song had a potential also to grow for the audience. And well, we will probably see her again because, as I said, she was already competing in MGP before, and she is likely to return. And I think she would do. She probably would have a great performance in the Eurovision, and probably would be able to perform very well there. And also, it's building up experience for the next participation after all. So.
Okay. So here we are. Last one who didn't qualify, and I have seen quite a few comments about it, like, "Oh no, what?" Was Milo? I don't know.
Milo.
Milo. Is it Milo with the E? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Milo. With the song "You're Mine." And first thing I recognized was that he doesn't speak Norwegian. At least
He's half Australian, he's half Australian, half Norwegian. He's I think originally from Australia, and then might have moved here potentially.
Yeah, probably. So he was my favorite of the night. I really liked him, and I think the staging was insane. It was very out of the box. It was very crazy. In the beginning, it had like a vibe of being in a I can't pronounce his name.
Psychiatrist.
Yes. I hate this word. Anyway, it was daring. It was interesting. He had some kind, like, he was so pale. I had the feeling that he's going for this vampire thing somehow. His vocals were great, I think. His dance moves were great. The song was daring and interesting, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm wondering what happened there. Is it the running order being in second? I don't know. I really thought that was the very sure qualifier. And considering that, like, comparing it to the qualifiers, I'm disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. So, Harry, what do you think?
Well, to be fair, this would have been my third this would have been my predicted third qualifier, along with Super Rob and Gut. I enjoyed this one. I'm not a massive fan of this on studio. I think if you don't have the context that it's him playing a character, it can be quite creepy in studio without any visuals. But with the visuals, I understood what he was going for. He performed it very well. It was, you saw the vision there. Unlike Farida, I felt a lot of the elements here worked together in harmony. It, it told the story. My one sort of issue with this is I think this could have gone much crazier. Like his inspiration for, I think his inspiration for this song, he said at times, was his love of horror movies. You get a little bit of that with the like moving table and, the creepy nurses. You could do a bit more. You've got 3 minutes. You can do more than nurses in the table. I think it's almost, he almost lost that element of creepiness. Make it full really make it uncomfortable, whether it's, the lighting effects or just something else that makes this stand out more. Because while it's a good song by itself, I don't think it's a standout song in studio. It's good, but it's not one that makes you, have to pick up the phone. It needed to do more to make you pick up the phone or app, whatever it is.
Yeah, I was about to say you need to vote for the app. Welcome to 2024, Harry.
On the phone. You use the app on the phone, Dom. But I still thought this was going to qualify. I thought this was the third most likely through. Turns out it didn't. I don't know why. I'm a bit like you. I would have had this in. It's surprising, but there was room for improvement certainly with this performance, but it was still good.
Okay. Before we go to Dylan, Paris is very sad. Like, he did amazing. I agree with you. And about the language, he speaks Norwegian, but he was not too confident in speaking it, which is fair. Okay, Dylan, go ahead.
So there is a lot to take from his performance. I think he performed really well, and I honestly thought he would qualify. In my opinion, it was one of the best performances tonight. That being said, I disagree with Harry. I don't see where he was going with the staging. So to be honest, and to be fair with you guys, as you guess, English not being my native language, I rarely try to understand the lyrics of any songs. I just listen to the song, the melody, and then I get on board or not. I don't try to understand the meaning of the songs. So maybe that's why, to me, the staging was a bit weird. But then, it was confusing. It was well executed. Again, I agree with that. And I think it was an audacious proposition tonight, something that should have been rewarded with a qualification. But I think either you go completely crazy and you go for the full craziness, either you just don't go for it. But there is no in between in this sort of performance. And that's where I think he lost me. I didn't get the vampire style either. I mean, I was really confused. But the vocals were good to me. The song was a pleasant song to listen, the melody as well. And overall, the performance was really, really good. And I was really surprised. One of the explanation might be the controversy about the lyrics that happened in the Norwegian press a few days ago. That was mentioned during the show. Also, I do think that being second in the running order is never like an easy spot, because you might be a bit forgotten by the audience. So disappointed. I think it will stay on my playlist for a while, but unfortunately, I think that it is something that we have to accept and move on with the last qualifier.
Yeah, Robin agrees with you. I think Milo would have stood more out in the final than this song, but he has had some backlash in media on the lyrics these past days, so I kind of get it. I hate when these things are influencing the result. It's just like, come on.
God, Norway must hate Game of Thrones.
Like, apparently.
Well, I'm like, if it's fiction. Like, oh God, we can't have the Jamie we can't have the Lannister relationship. We can't have all the murdering. It's just not good. It's like, it's not real. Some songs are not real. Were you complaining? Did people actually did people actually think Super Rob was an actual robot? Is that what we're going with here in Norway? Is that what's happening with?
Well, plus she was vocally off, so I mean, if you compare the vocals, he was miles better.
It's so weird what people take as fact and fiction these days. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So there was a question, I think, about the Norwegian results. Like, do you think that Norway will end up at 17th place for the jury? Norway ended up at 17th place 2 times in a row.
Depends what they send.
Exactly. We can't answer that yet. If they send my AI 17th in the jury, would be good for them.
That'd be quite high. That'd be quite high.
That would be very high. It really depends. I think if
they sing good, I think that'd be too low. I think they get higher than 17th. I think with that.
We will see. So yeah, it really depends. We can't tell yet. Hi, Mr. System. And there was like one question about where is it, Veronica? What do you think? There you go.
Haven't heard
what
it
do
yet.
You think?
I'm listening after this.
Exactly. Same. We were just going live when we were supposed to listen to it, but next time we will answer this, and I'm really looking forward to the Slovenian entry. So yeah, considering we have 6 finalists so far, who is your favorite out of all of them? Like favorite to win and your personal favorite so far.
Out of the
before we wrap it up.
Out of the 6 qualified, yeah. Good.
Yes.
Good.
So just
Easy.
a reminder. Goth Minister, Ingrid, Yasmin, and Margaret Berger went through last time, and this time we had My AI, Ulveham, and Judge Tenderly of Me. These are the 6 finalists so far. So Harry,
good and good.
like prediction and favorite.
I think Gut can win. They can easily win with this staging. They've put themselves in contention.
Okay, Dylan.
So my personal favorite so far, I think, would be Goth Minister. But I don't know if they can win. I think it would be hard to. From the 6 we have, I think Goth would win, and I would be fine with that.
Okay, I must say, even though I usually like MGP a lot, not a fan of.
It's a weaker year. It is a weaker year.
Exactly.
Oh, no, it's not a weaker year.
Compared to what MGP has high standards. This is it's a good year, but it's usually great.
And I have the feeling they just don't pick my favorites. So so for now, I prefer Oblivion, but she needs to improve vocally. I think Margaret can do better. So that's my favorite. And predictive-wise, I have the feeling that the AI song might
Please,
win.
no, please. Come on, Norwegian juries. Please, Norwegian juries.
Yeah, do your thing. Okay. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up? I think we mentioned it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see Kaino next week, I guess. That's the only thing to say, maybe.
Don't you dare, Norway. Not sending them too. Sorry, you owe them, okay? Anyway, Harry, Dylan, it was such a pleasure. And if you like this video, you can like it, you can comment, you can subscribe, the usual stuff, you know what to do. Yeah, and then I think Estonia is coming up, or is already on, so you can join them and listen to the results there. And see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.